I want $1 billion. First thing I would buy would be a mansion. Second would be a Lambo. Third would be world peace.
An iPhone, a mansion, and an awesome car. Because I want that stuff.
I would buy a car because I need a car. I would buy a house, like my own house, with a pool. And I would put my money into stock or something so that I can make more money, maybe.
Completely tech-filled house, a Ferrari and or Spider, and a Caribbean island to house it all.
I would buy a house, a car, and a hotel.
So, if I suddenly acquired $1 billion, I would honestly just start paying off college and everything. You know, it's kind of simple and everything, but
buy Notre Dame home football tickets forever. I would buy the entire St. Louis Cardinal Baseball Club and own it forever. And lastly, I would buy college tuition for all my nieces and nephews.
If I had $1 billion, one of the first things that I would do is I would build a pool, a recreational facility in Burgettstown, because our kids need something to do. When I was growing up, we used to have a pool, and everybody was able to use it, and I would provide transportation for the kids in Burgettstown because everybody needs transportation. And I would also have a fund for the students who didn't have enough money to eat lunch, because in our school, when you don't have money to eat lunch, they don't allow you to eat. So I'm always buying lunches for kids. So I would make sure that there was a fund every year for students to eat lunches so they wouldn't go hungry. And another thing, kids in our school district would never have to pay for prom, and they wouldn't have to pay to go to senior banquet. And every year at Christmas time, I would get buses and I would load up all the kids and we would go to the mall and we would shop, because everybody doesn't get to have Christmas gifts at Christmas time. So I would make sure that everybody had Christmas gifts to open. Then I would worry about myself.
If I had $1 billion, first thing that I would do with that money, rather than buy something, would be that I would take care of the financial situations of my family, my mother, and my children, to make sure that they get taken care of.
Okay, if I could marry anyone, it would probably be Tess Kowalski. And because she's just so beautiful.
Put it out there. Because, have you seen him? No.
I would marry Miss Pussycat because she is so nice all the time.
If I could marry one person, and it's Zach Rosman, he's a ginger.
I would marry Mrs. Gruccio because we can do math problems together.
If Patrick Swayze was still alive, I'd marry him because he is an amazing dancer.
I'd rather not answer that one.
I could marry anyone. I would marry Mallory.
If I could marry anybody, I would marry Lil Wayne. Because I've always wanted to visit jail.
If I could marry someone, it would be Haley Taboli. Mr. Francis, you need to know you're going to be mad if you watch this, but I would marry you because I really like you, and you're a good bowler, and that's why I would marry you.
If I could create one gadget that can do anything, it would be to make Haley Taboli date me.
Why didn't you ask them this question? I don't know, because there's already the iPhone. Oh, I would create an iPad that could have Flash, play Flash videos.
Gadget that would most definitely be able to drive me to school.
If I could create a gadget to do one thing, I would program it to first do my homework. Second of all, I would program it to touch a button and whatever kind of food you want would appear, and you could get
X-ray glasses for sure. So you know you can just look at anything and see through anything.
Okay, if I could create any gadget, I would make a teleportation device, because I would just want to be able to wake up in the morning and be like, oh, I feel like going to Paris today, and it's like, oh, I'm there, or I feel like going to Australia, and I could just be there and be back home by that night.
Do more.
If I could invent something that could do anything, what would it do? Oh, I would invent some type of cloak of silence to put around my room so I wouldn't have to listen to two other teachers that are near me and loud.
Alright, if I had any gadget or anything like that, I'd choose the drosher. That's a dryer and a washer. What it is it's actually, you set your cycle for a washer, and it goes through the wash cycle. And before you set it for the dry cycle, then it'll turn into a dryer, and it'll spin, so therefore you have the dryer.